Hi everyone. Okay, today I'm back to teach you how to write answers for comprehension questions. Uh, we have actually done this before, this story, the graphic story, which is what do you want to be. So I'm using this graphic story to teach you how to write comprehension questions for graphic story. Okay, for this graphic story. Okay, or we can also say how to write comprehension questions for this visual storytelling. Okay, but I don't want you to get confused. So let's just get to the easy point where we will learn how to write answers to comprehension questions. Okay, based on the graphic story. Okay, on this graphic story, which is what you want to be. Okay, let's refresh our memory. Okay, that day we have already done this, but we did this in part 1, 2, and 3, where we learned how to write a narrative out of a graphic story or out of visual storytelling. Okay, so we will read one by one all the frames: frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, and frame 4. Okay, frame 1. It's career day at school. Carrie's mom is a dentist. She fixes people's teeth. Okay, this is the dialogue. This is the speech Carrie's mom is giving. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day. I have a shower. Then I get dressed and I have breakfast. At 7 o'clock, I take the train to work. And the yellow goldfish, I want to be a dentist too. So you have to take note of all the details in the in of all the details in each frame. Okay, because we are going to write answers to comprehension questions, so you have to take note of all the details. In the previous video, when we actually wrote a narrative, we learned how to write a narrative. So we actually uh, wanted to actually get a summary or get a get a bigger picture of the visual storytelling of this graphic story. But here, when you write answers to comprehension questions, you have to take note of every detail, because you are going to answer, or you're going to write answers to comprehension questions, and these comprehension questions will require you to answer details of the story in each frame. Okay, and the second frame now. Joey's dad is a firefighter. He puts out fires and saves people. So please be reminded, the yellow one here is the introduction of each frame, so that you will understand the frame better. Okay, the speech. Okay, the speech. Okay, Joey's dad gives a speech. Okay, I drive my car to work. Sometimes I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. And the yellow goldfish again. Okay, the mischievous and annoying goldfish, yellow goldfish. Or no, I want to be a firefighter. Okay, and the third frame. Monica's mom is a chef. She works in a restaurant. Okay, Monica's mom gives a speech here on a career day in at school. So I take the bus to work and I cook all day. Sometimes I go home late. And look at the goldfish, yellow goldfish again. I want to be a chef too. And the last frame, what do you want to be, Dexter? So the yellow goldfish asks the orange goldfish, and this orange goldfish is actually Dexter. So it replies, or it answers uh, the yellow goldfish saying, I want to be a cat. And there's some imagination going on with the orange goldfish, with Dexter. Okay? Okay, let's look at the details of each frame. This we have already done when we learn how to write a narrative, when actually we learn how to write a narrative from a visual storytelling of a graphic story. So we will refresh all these details again. Okay, in frame 1, okay, what is happening? Okay, where is it happening? At school. Who is giving the speech here? Carrie's mom. And when? Okay, when? This depends on her. Uh, this depends on the speech that she is giving. Okay, so it says here, from her speech, we know that at 6 o'clock she gets up and at 7 o'clock she takes the train. Which which occupation does Carrie's mom do? Okay, so Carrie's mom is a dentist. How does she go to work? She takes the train to work. Okay, maybe some details are not here, but it's okay. We can still have a look later on because we still have the introduction here. So some details are also in the introduction here in frame 1, 2, and 3. Introduction of their occupation. Okay, so you need not worry. Okay, and frame 2, let's go to frame 2. Okay, frame 2, Joey's dad. Joey's dad. Okay, frame 2, what is happening is also career day. Where is it happening? At school. Who is giving the speech? Joey's dad. Okay, when? So when means talking about his occupation, and actually when comes in when he gives a speech about his day at work. Okay? His day at work in his occupation as a firefighter. So let's see. It says here, sometimes I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. So this is actually telling us the time, telling us when. Has got sometimes. Okay. So sometimes he has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. Okay. Which occupation does Joey's dad do? Okay. Joey's dad is a firefighter. Okay. And how does he go? How does he go to work? Okay, from here he explains when he gives his speech. Okay, okay, I drive my car to work. So he drives his car to work. He drives his car to work. Okay, that is done for frame 2. Now let's go to frame 3. We are actually refreshing what we have learned before, but this time we are using it for writing answers to comprehension questions. Okay, frame 3. Okay, frame 3 is also the same because Monica's mom is giving speech at school, giving a speech on career day at school. Okay, okay. So hold on. What? Okay, what is happening is also all of them are in the same place, and they are for at school for one reason, which is the school is has organized a career day. Okay, so let's look at Monica's mom. Monica's mom. Okay, can you see? Okay. Okay, Monica's mom. So what is happening is career day because you can see the three pictures are the same. They are not really the same, but they are just different in they are just different by having the other person giving the speech. So it is almost the same. Okay, but only speeches are given by different person, different people. Like the first one, Carrie's mom. Second one, Joey's dad, and third one, Monica's mom. So let's see. Okay, where is the career day? It's happening at school. Okay, who is the one giving speech in frame 3? Monica's mom. Okay, when? Okay, let's see her speech. What does she say? Anything about time or anything that she does relating to time? Okay, we can see here that she says sometimes I go home late. I cook all day. I take the bus to work and I cook all day. Sometimes I go home late. So when, that means she's explaining about time. So she cooks all day. Sometimes she goes home late. That's the nature of her occupation and how she spends her day in her occupation. Okay, which occupation does Monica's mom do? Okay, Monica's mom is a chef. Okay, Monica's mom is a chef. How does she go? How does she go to work? Okay, let's see. Okay, I take the bus to work and I cook all day. Okay, you can also look at the introduction. You can look at the speeches given by each one of them in each frame, and also what the yellow goldfish is also the dialogue of the yellow goldfish and also the orange goldfish. All these matters because we have to take count into detail. Sorry, we have to take count of the details in the frames because we are going to write answers to comprehension questions. So you have to be precise. When we wrote the narrative, it was more of a bigger picture. So you need not be precise, but you need to get the story going. Okay? But here you have to be precise because you are answering questions regarding each frame. Okay? Okay, she takes the bus to work. Okay, frame 4. What, where, who, when, which, and how. Okay, first thing you have to understand that frame 4 is different from all these three frames because, uh, most importantly, because it is the conclusion. It is the last part and it concludes the graphic story. And what actually you can learn from this story. So, frame 4. Okay, what do you want to be, Dexter? Yellow goldfish asked the orange goldfish. Goldfish. Orange goldfish is actually Dexter, and it says, I want to be a cat. And it imagines here. Okay, so that you have to, when you answer, you have to think. Okay, because it's more of a thinking skill involved when you answer questions, comprehension questions for frame 4. Okay, let's look at frame 4, the important details. Okay, what is happening in frame 4? Is the discussion. There's a discussion going on in frame 4 in the aquarium. Where? In the aquarium. Why in the aquarium? Because there are two fish, yellow goldfish and orange goldfish. Who is the one? Who is the who is the active character here? Of course, the yellow goldfish is asking the orange goldfish, but which character is more important here in the fourth frame? Okay, the more important character in fourth frame, even though both are actually supporting characters, but the more important character is Dexter in frame 4. So you write here who. So there's no more like who is giving speech or who's having an occupation and who is giving a speech about the occupation. It's no more that. So we are talking about the more important, the more dominant supporting character in the fourth frame here. Okay, because it's more of Dexter here. The story about Dexter, what it wants to be. Okay, let's look. Okay, frame 4. Okay, what is happening? There's a discussion going on. It's a discussion. The discussion is happening in the aquarium because there are two fish there. Okay, who is the supporting character who is more important in frame 4? Dexter, the orange goldfish. When is it happening? When is it happening? It's happening now because this is all in past tense. Frame 1, 2, 3, and 4, they are all in past tense. And we can imagine this one is actually happening all at once. But this one is especially now because they are communicating at the same time after the yellow goldfish have heard the speeches of these three people. Okay, now, so which? Okay, which? That means which goldfish is actually talking about occupation, what it wants to be. All the while it was the yellow goldfish talking about it wants to be. But in the last frame, you can see who talks about which character talks about what it wants to be. The orange goldfish, Dexter. Okay, Dexter, the orange goldfish. Okay, so what which occupation it wants to be, but because it's a cat and it does not wish to be it does not want to be any it does not want to be in any occupation, but it wishes to be a cat. I want to be a cat. Okay, so this is a turning point. Sorry, mistakenly just now. It's a turning point. So which occupation? All this while in frame 1, 2, and 3, we were talking about which occupation does the person do. But here it's not about the occupation, but which 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 occupation. It's not which occupation, but what actually which animal or which character, okay, not occupation, but which character does Dexter wants to be. So the orange goldfish wishes it were a cat or wants to be a cat. How? How means it wants to be a cat. How means it's not that how it wants to be a cat, but it wants to be a cat, and how is going to react, or how is it going to react upon the yellow goldfish. So you can see the imagination here. So it wishes it were a black cat and catch the yellow goldfish. So that yellow goldfish catch and eat up the yellow goldfish, so that there'll be no more yellow goldfish. Or it can just scare, because you can see the black cat is putting the paw inside the aquarium. That means it can just scare the yellow goldfish that is going to catch the yellow goldfish and gulp it in his mouth. So it can catch and eat up the yellow goldfish, or it can scare the yellow goldfish, either one. But of course, it's too mean. It cannot catch and eat up the yellow goldfish. But from the picture, this is what we can understand. But later on, we can relate. We can relate to other points. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the question now. Questions. The comprehension exercise, which includes how many questions? Let's see. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there are 12 questions. Let's see. Okay, there's no more. There's only 12. There are 12 questions, and I have just I have just left some space here, so that it'll be easy when we write the answers. We'll be able to have some spacing. Okay. Okay, let's look at number 1. Okay, what does Carrie mom do? What does Carrie's mom do? That's the first question. Second question, what time does she get up, or when does she get up? Third question, does she drive to work? Fourth question, what does Joey's dad do? Fifth question, does he take the bus to work? Sixth question, does he always take his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home? Seventh question, where does Monica's mom work? 8, is she a waitress? Number 9, does she walk to work? Does she walk to work mean does Monica's mom walk to work? Because actually these questions are from frame 1 until frame 4. That means they are progressing from frame 1 to frame 4, the questions. So of course when they ask questions, it's regarding that particular frame. I did not write here the frames because I don't want to get you confused. So I've written it all together, but later on I will tell you which one is which frame. Okay. Okay. Does she walk to work? Number 9. Number 10. What does the yellow goldfish want to be? That means in the third frame. 11. What does Dexter want to be? And number 12. Is Dexter happy? Okay. Let's go to the first one. Okay. Okay. What does Carrie's mom do? Okay. What does Carrie's mom do? Okay. We can see the picture, but rather than we look at the pictures, since we have got all the details in the table, so we can check in the table first, okay, before we can check in the table first, and then if we need more details, then we can go to the pictures. You can check the details in the picture. Okay, it's career day at school. Okay, what is the question again? What does Carrie's mom do? So talking about what does she do? Okay, okay, it's career day at school. Okay, what does Carrie's mom do? So this is the answer. Which of Carrie's mom is a dentist. Okay, so we will write here. So from the story, from the frame one, we know that Carrie's mom is a dentist. Okay, I am using the red color, the red, the font. I'm using the red color font so that it will be easy for you to see. But you shouldn't write in a red color uh, pencil, but please write in pencil, okay? Or if you're using a pen, write up with pen. Okay, number 2. What time does she get up? What time? Okay. Just now is what does Carrie's mom do? That means what does she do? It's not only her occupation, but you also have to explain about about what she does. So what we can do here is we can write that Carrie's mom is a dentist. Sorry. Is a dentist. Then we can write more. Because if it asks what is Carrie's mom's occupation, then you can just write Carrie's mom is a dentist. But since they ask what does Carrie's mom do, so you can give more explanation. Okay, Carrie's mom is a dentist. She fixes people's teeth. Okay, where did I get this answer? Okay, see whether we can put it here. Okay, maybe of course it's not here because not everything is in the table. Okay, it's only Carrie's mom is a dentist, but the explanation is here in the introduction of the first frame where you can see is career day at school. Carrie's mom is a dentist. She fixes people's teeth. So from here we get the answer. What does she do? Okay. So from the introduction. So what does Carrie's mom do? Carrie's mom is a dentist. She fixes people's teeth. Okay, what time does she get up? So this is all frame 1. Huh? When it's going to be frame 2, I will let you know. Now it's still frame 1. So you just need to look at frame 1 and also the table for frame 1. What time does she get up? Okay, here, when? Okay, at 6 o'clock she gets up. Okay. So the answer will be, here I put it in this way so that it will be easier for you to see that when, so the time. I've written the time first. But actually, you shouldn't write at 6 o'clock she gets up. I just want you to see it clearly. That's why I wrote it like this. But when you answer a comprehension question, you have to see how is the question. So here it says, what time does she get up? That means what time? So you have to write the time. But since it asks you, does she get up? So this is the first phrase that you have to put in front when you answer. So you have to start with she gets up at, what time was that? It's now 6 o'clock. Okay, at 6 o'clock. Okay, it's at 6 o'clock. Okay, Okay, that's for number 2. Okay, number 3. Does she drive to work? Okay, we are still talking about Carrie's mom, frame 1. Does she drive to work? Let's see. Okay, when, which, how. Okay, from how here, from the question how, we can understand how she goes to work. So, does she goes to, the question asks you, does she drive to work? Does she drive to work? No, she doesn't. She takes the train to work. Okay. So how you're going to write here? Because we have to refute the sentence. Okay. Because this one asking you whether she drives to work or not. So you have to refute. Refute this question. You have to answer in a way that you refute. Okay. Your answer has to be as if you refute the statement. Okay. It has to be no, she doesn't. Okay. No, she doesn't. What does she do? She takes the train to work. So you have to explain when you answer, because why is your answer no, she doesn't? Then how does she go to work? So she train to work. So when you refute, then you have to also state the correct answer. So that is why you have to write both. No, she doesn't. She takes the train to work. Okay, let's change this to red color font. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not changing. Okay, number 4. Okay, now number 1 to number 3. Number 1 to number 3 here is actually based on frame 1. Based on frame 1. Frame 1, this one. Okay, whereby Carrie's mom is giving the speech. Okay, so this is the details, the details in the table for frame 1. Okay, so you can check on that later when you check your answers. Okay, so let's go to the fourth one. Okay, the fourth one is already frame 2. Okay, so frame 2 will be number 4. What does Joey's dad do? Number 5, does he take the bus to work? Number 6, does he always take his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home? Okay, so there are 3 questions here. There are 3 questions here, number 4, number 5, and number 6 for frame 2, which actually involves Joey's dad in frame 2. Okay, let's look at frame 2. Okay, this is frame 2. Okay, this is frame 2 and this is the table for frame 2. So we have to concentrate on this when we want to find out, or we want to find the details for these questions. Okay, so what does Joey's dad do? Okay, what does Joey's dad do? Frame 2. Okay, which occupation does Joey's dad do? Okay, so Joey's dad is a firefighter. So we are not only talking about occupation, but we are also talking about what does Joey's dad do. So we have to explain further. So first we write, I hope it won't change again. Okay, Joey's, so we answer here, Joey's dad is a firefighter. So it's not enough because you also have to explain what he does. Because the question asks you, what does Joey's dad do? If the question asks you, what is Joey's dad's occupation, then you can only write, it's enough for you to just write Joey's dad is a firefighter. But since it asks you, what does Joey's dad do? So you have to explain further. Okay, so Joey's dad is a firefighter. Okay, okay, only Joey's dad is a firefighter. That detail is only here in the table. So we have to look at the introduction of his work, of his occupation, sorry, in frame 2. So you can see the introduction here. Joey's dad is a firefighter. He puts out fires and saves people. So that will be the answer. So we have to add here. He puts out fires and saves lives. Okay, let's check whether that's correct. Okay, you have to look at the picture because it's here. The answer is here. And saves people. Okay, so we have to change. So actually, it's correct. But when you write answers to comprehension questions, you have to follow what is given in the story or narrative or comprehension passage. Okay. He puts out fires and saves people. That is for number 4. Number 5. Does he take the bus to work? So now you have to refute. You have to state or refute. So let's see. Okay, frame 2. He drives his car to work. So we don't have to look at the picture because it's already stated in the table. He drives his car to work. Okay, does he take the bus to work? So again, you have to refute. So you say, no, he doesn't. Okay, what does he do? He drives his car to work. Okay, so when you refute, you also have to write the correct sentence explaining about how he goes to work. Okay, unless if it asks you how does Joey's dad go to work, then you just need to write he drives his car to work. Okay, but when this question requires you to refute, that means you also need to explain. Okay. Okay, number 6. Okay, number 6, we are still in frame 2. Does he? This he means who? He means Joey's dad. Okay, so he is the pronoun for Joey's dad. Because we don't have to keep on repeating Joey's dad, because the first one for the second frame, the first question for second frame is already Joey's dad. So the ones, uh, those those questions following the question number 4 to number 6 regarding frame 2 will only use he. So you don't have to repeat Joey's dad, Joey's dad. Okay? So number 6, does he always take his breakfast, lunch and dinner at home? Okay. Again, it's a question that you have to state or refute. Okay? Does he always take his breakfast, lunch and dinner at home? Is it? Yes, at home. So let's see. Okay, the answer is here in frame 2. Okay, sometimes, okay, when, the question when here, sometimes he has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. That means sometimes he has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work, but sometimes he also has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home. So there is no like always. It's not that he always has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. So how are you going to answer that? So does he always take his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home? Of course not, because sometimes he takes his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. So how are you going to answer that? Okay. So again, you say no, he doesn't. Okay, why is it I'm using doesn't? Because he is a plural subject. Okay, so we have to use doesn't. He, she, it doesn't. I, you, they, we don't. Okay, so no, he doesn't. So, so we say he. Sometimes we have to start with we. Okay, you see here it's given. Sometimes he has breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. But I purposely put the sometimes in front here because I want to state the time, or I want to state to you the frequency, because it's the question here asks when. So actually it has to be he has his breakfast, lunch and dinner. He sometimes has his breakfast, lunch and dinner. Okay, at work. That's the way to write, okay? So don't get confused. He sometimes takes his why is it takes? Because he. Okay? He, she, it takes. I, you, they, we take. Okay? That is a subject agreement. Okay? Subject agreement for plural noun. Okay. Takes his. Okay, takes his breakfast, lunch, and don't forget your commas and also your capital letters. That's why you need to always check, because if you don't put a full stop, that means you're not stopping the sentence. So you have to take note of all that when you write the answers also. Okay, so he sometimes takes his breakfast, lunch and dinner at work. So we have already refuted for these questions. We have already refuted or denied the question saying that he always takes breakfast, lunch and dinner at home. So we refute by saying no, he doesn't. Then we explain. Okay, but if it's yes, he does, then you no need to explain. Okay, let me change it to red. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. Okay, don't forget your full stop and also the capital letter. Always the sentence has to start with the subject. That means people. Okay, subject. Subject means noun, which is people. Okay. Okay. But in this sense, it is pronoun. It is not the subject with the name. Okay, so this is pronoun. Okay. Number 7. Where does Monica's mom? Okay, now we have finished frame 2. Frame 1, we have already finished for frame 1 and frame 2 until number 6. Now we are going to number 7. Where does Monica's mom work? Number 8, is she a waitress? Number 9, does she walk to work? Number 10, what does, okay, number 9. So 7, 8, 9 is based on frame 3. Okay, frame 3. Monica's mom here. Okay, let's see. Okay, Monica's mom here. Okay, and also the table here. Table 3. Table frame 3. Okay, so what is your question? Where does Monica's mom work? Okay, that's already here in frame 3. Okay, where does Monica's mom's work? Where does Monica's mom work? Okay, it's not here. So you have to check. In the picture, is there any explanation? Okay, yes, in the third frame, the picture in third frame, it says in the introduction, it says Monica's mom is a chef. She works in a restaurant. So you're going to answer here. The question asks you, where does Monica's mom work? Where does Monica's mom work? So you don't have to write what does she do, but where does she work? So you write here. Okay, Monica's mom is works. Why is it works? Because Monica's mom is a she. Monica's mom works in a restaurant. Okay, that's all. Because they ask a very precise question, so you answer precisely. You don't have to write more than that. Okay. Number 8. Is Monica's mom a waitress? Is she a waitress? Okay, let's check. Okay, no, it's here. The answer is here. Which occupation does Monica's mom do? Monica's mom is a chef. So here we have to refute because it's also the same like just now. Okay, does. Just now we have here, does he always take his breakfast? Okay, Joey's dad takes breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home. Okay, it's the same pattern. Is she a waitress? So this is actually you need to refute. So refute, then state the correct answer. Is she a waitress? No, she isn't. Okay, so you have to explain. She is not a waitress. Waitress is a person, a woman, a person who is a woman who serves food. When the food is ready, they will bring the food to the table. Okay, but it's a girl. Oh, sorry, it's a woman, a lady or a girl. Okay, if it's a man, you call waiter. Okay, here it's not here. It's only Monica's mom is a chef. Oh, okay, it's here. It's here. I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay, so which occupation does Monica's mom do? So Monica's mom is a chef. So that states that she's not a waitress. So we have to write here. No, she isn't. She. Why I'm not repeating Monica's mom? Because here 7 to 9, question 7 to 9 refers to Monica's mom. So you don't have to repeat Monica's mom, okay? She is a chef, okay? Okay. Okay, number 9. The last question for frame 3. Does she walk to work? Okay, so here you can see question 8 and 9 are questions that need you to refute, then explain the correct answer and write the correct answer. Okay, you have to refute, then state the correct answer. So, does she walk to work? Okay, let's see. Okay, it's here. How does she go? Okay, how does she go to work? How does she go to work? Okay, bus to work. Okay, so we have to say, does she walk to work? No, no, she doesn't. She, she takes the bus to work. Okay, let's check whether it's correct. Okay, frame 3, she takes the bus to work. Okay, okay, frame 3, huh? This one, huh? Okay, Monica's mom. She takes the bus to work. So you have already refuted, then you state the correct answer. Okay, that's done. Okay, so that means we have already finished. We have already finished writing the comprehension questions for number 1 to number 9, which is frame 1, frame 2, and frame 3. All the questions for frame 1, frame 2, and frame 3. So most of the questions are regarding the the main characters who are actually from frame 1 to 3. All the comprehension questions from number 1 to 9, all the questions refer to the main characters in frame 1, 2, and 3. So this will be the pattern when they ask you questions, when the comprehension questions are asked based on the main characters. Most of the questions will be on the main characters. That you have to remember. Okay? And the last three last three questions are: what does the yellow goldfish want to be? What does Dexter want to be? And is Dexter happy? Okay, so these three questions, number 10, number 11, and 12, are based on the fourth frame. Okay, so this is the table of details for the fourth frame, and this is the picture. Fourth frame. What do you want to be, Dexter? I want to be a cat. Then the imagination here. Okay, let's do the last three questions. Let's answer the last three questions. Okay, number 10. What does the yellow goldfish want to be? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, number 10 is still in frame 3. I thought there's only 10 questions, but actually I thought there's only 3 questions, but there are 4 questions for frame 3. So this number 10 actually is for frame 3. So there will be actually 4 questions for frame 3, which is she a waitress? Does she walk to work? Is she a waitress? Does she walk to work? What does the yellow goldfish want to be? Okay? Because you see, the yellow goldfish is still talking about what it wants to be, is still thinking of what it wants to be in the third frame. First frame, second frame, and third frame. In the fourth frame, there is no more of this yellow goldfish thinking about what it wants to be, but Dexter. So I forgot that. I'm sorry. So I want to be a chef too. So it's asking about frame 3. Okay? Not the other frame. So you have to concentrate only on frame 3. You have to see. Normally, comprehension questions will start from the first part of the story to the end. Also in sequence. It will not be like jumble up. Because questions will never be jumble up because comprehension questions are based on each frame and it will be in sequence. So when the question asks you, number 10 asks you, what does the yellow goldfish want to be? Of course, you'll be confused because there are 3 occupations that the yellow goldfish wants to be. But since in the it's actually asking in the third frame because you see this is all third frame. So it progresses from the first frame to the third frame. So from the first frame to the fourth frame. So this one definitely is referring to the third frame here. Okay. So you can see the third frame. Okay, what it wants to be, what does the goldfish want to be? It wants to be a chef. Okay, so you write here, the answer will be okay, we have to start with it. Why? Because yellow goldfish, we can replace it with the pronoun it. It wants to be a chef. Two. Why two? Because it has already wanted to be as other occupations, but now it wants to be a chef. So you have to add two. It wants to be a chef too because this is the last one. Okay? Because there are also 2 others. So you have to add 2. It wants to be a chef too. Okay. So this will be the last question for frame 3. Okay. Okay. Why is it that this yellow goldfish why is it's got no name? Why is it that you replace the yellow goldfish with it? Because this yellow goldfish, if you see here in the picture, there is no name. It's only referred to as yellow goldfish, yellow goldfish. So because it's referred to yellow goldfish as an animal, so that is why with we replace the phrase the yellow goldfish with it because it has got no name. Okay? So from the name we can know whether it's masculine or feminine. That means we can know the fish. But now we do not know. So you use it. Okay. Okay, but here, okay, number 11 and 12 will be uh, based on frame. The questions for number 11 and 12 will be based on frame 4. Okay, frame 4. This one, okay? Frame 4. And the table, frame 4 is this. Okay? Okay. So what is the question? What does Dexter want to be? Okay, Dexter is the orange goldfish. Dexter is the orange goldfish. It imagines and murmurs, I want to be a cat. So the answer is what does Dexter want to be? You can write it wants to be a cat. It wants to be a cat. Or you can also write he wants to be a cat. Why do I say that you can also use the word he wants to be a cat? Because in this frame 4 of this story, okay, in this frame, okay, it has got a name, Dexter. The yellow goldfish calls him Dexter. So Dexter is a masculine fish. That means is a male fish. So that is why you can actually write he. But I actually prefer to write it because here in the table I've also answered it. I prefer to write it in the frame here because I didn't use the word the name Dexter. Even though I know the name is Dexter, but uh, I still I still write the answer as it in the table. You can see here. It. Why? Because I don't want the yellow goldfish is it. Then after that the orange goldfish is he. So I don't want that confusion. So I feel that it's better to use it, even though the orange goldfish has a name. Because you can either use one because the orange goldfish has got a name, you can use he, but I wish to use it because also refers to it also refers to fish. Fish is an animal, so it's still correct. So I prefer to use it, so I'm going to write here it. Okay, okay, so it wants to be a cat. Okay, is Dexter happy? Okay, is Dexter happy? Here, it's not written here, but here you can see that the orange goldfish wishes it were a cat. It can catch and eat up the yellow goldfish. Or in the narrative that we've already discussed how to write the narrative in the video that we discussed how to write the narrative. Okay, we came up with the conclusion that it wishes it were a cat. Dexter wishes it were a cat, and it could scare off the yellow goldfish and make it stop talking. So here, does it look happy? Dexter, does he or it look happy? No. It looks annoyed. It looks angry and also don't know what to do already with this yellow goldfish. But the yellow goldfish, even though it has been talking on, but it still looks happy. It doesn't realize that this orange goldfish or Dexter is already annoyed. So that is why Dexter, the orange goldfish has to imagine such a it has to wish that it were a cat so it can scare because the yellow goldfish doesn't realize yet. You see? So is Dexter happy? Of course he's not. Or of course it's not. So you can answer no, it isn't. You always have to follow the verb here. Is, does. Okay? You have to follow the verb, the tense here. If it's did, did. So if it's is. So you have to answer like that. You cannot write like, what does Dexter want to be? Then it wants to be a cat. Like if I say if is Dexter happy? Can you write no, it doesn't? No, you cannot write like that. You have to follow the verb here. Okay, you have to follow the verb here. Whether it's a is or does or do. Okay, no, it isn't. Isn't, but we don't have to describe because we don't know what is feeling. Maybe annoyed, maybe angry, maybe fed up. We don't know because it's not stated there. So you can refute, but you no need to state anymore. You don't need to state any more sentence saying what it feels because we don't know. Okay, from the story we don't know. Okay, we just predicting, so we don't have to write. We don't have to state after refuting. Okay, okay, let's check one by one. Okay, if there is any grammar mistake or if there is any if we've written the answer wrongly. Okay, number one, what does Carrie's mom do? Okay, number one to number three is frame one. Okay, is based on frame one. The details in frame one. What does Carrie's mom do? Carrie's mom is a dentist. She fixes people's teeth. Okay, number two, what time does she get up or when does she get up? She gets up at 6 o'clock. Okay, but why can't you use when does she get up? Because then the answer will be she gets up in the morning. So you want to be precise, you ask what time does she get up? So she gets up at 6 o'clock. Okay, number three, does she drive to work? No, she doesn't. She takes the train to work. Okay, number four to number six, okay, is frame. Okay, the questions are based on frame two. Okay, what does Joey's dad do? Joey's dad is a firefighter. He puts out fires and saves people. Okay, number five, does he take the bus to work? No, he doesn't. He drives his car to work. Okay, number six, does he always take his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home? No, he doesn't. He sometimes takes his breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. Okay, number 7 to number 10 will be based, the questions for number 7 to number 10 will be based on frame 3, where whereby you can see in the picture here, Monica's mom is giving speech. Okay, here, this one. So number 7. Oops. Where does Monica's mom work? Monica's mom works in a restaurant. Is she a waitress? No, she isn't. She is a chef. Okay, number 9. Does she walk to work? No, she doesn't. She takes the bus to work. She takes the bus to work. Okay. So that's how she commutes. Okay, number 10. Number 10 is also based on frame 3, where Monica's mom is giving speech. So this question is asking about the goldfish in frame 3. So you have to answer about the goldfish in frame 3. But why okay, let me explain later that one. Okay, so what does the yellow goldfish want to be? It wants to be a chef too. Why do I put here two? Because first it wanted to be let's see, first it wanted to be like Carrie's mom, a dentist, then like Joey's dad, a firefighter, then also wanted to be a chef like Monica's mom. So two. So 1, 2, and 3. So that is why it wanted to be all the three, wanted to be in all the three occupations. So that is why we put here two. Two means more than one. Okay. Okay. And number 11 to 12, 11 and 12 are based on frame, which is the conclusion, the frame for conclusion. Okay, fourth frame. What does Dexter want to be? He wants to be a cat. Or you can say he wants to be a cat. But I don't want to confuse you. I still use it because it's also a goldfish. So is Dexter happy? No, it isn't. Okay, so you don't have to describe. You've already refuted for number 12, but you don't have to state anything more because this is actually a prediction of what Dexter is feeling. So we do not know. There is no detail stated there in the story. So I think that's all. So please check when you write your answers for the comprehension questions. Please check your grammar and spelling and also your full stops and also your capital letters. Okay, so that's all for today. So I hope that this lesson uh, has helped you write answers for the comprehension questions. Okay, till then, I'll see you again. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe uh, to my channel and like my video. Okay, thank you.